The high-profile case of love, deception, and murder. The tragic tale of Laci and Scott Peterson. The story of Laci and Scott Peterson is one of the most infamous and heart-wrenching cases of recent times. Laci was a vivacious and caring woman who had a passion for teaching and was expecting her first child. Scott was a salesman for a fertilizer company, and the couple had a seemingly happy marriage. However, their story took a dark turn in December 2002 when Laci went missing, and the nation was gripped by the search for her. Laci was born on May 4, 1975 in Modesto, California, and grew up in the nearby town of Escalon. She was known for her infectious personality and her love for children. After graduating from a California State University, she became a substitute teacher. It was during this time that she met Scott Peterson, a man who would become her husband. Scott and Laci were married in 1999 and settled in Modesto. However, their happiness was short-lived. On December 24, 2002, Scott reported Laci missing when he returned from a fishing trip. The disappearance made national headlines, and a massive search effort was launched to find Laci and her unborn child. The investigation into Laci's disappearance revealed several inconsistencies in Scott's story. For example, he had told police that he had gone fishing alone, but several witnesses later testified that they had seen him with another woman, Amber Frey, at a restaurant and hotel in the days leading up to Laci's disappearance. Scott had also purchased a boat and other equipment just weeks before the incident, which seemed suspicious. In April 2003, the remains of Laci and her unborn child were discovered on the shore of the San Francisco Bay, near where Scott had been fishing on the day of her disappearance. The remains were found in separate locations, with Laci's torso washing up on the shore and her unborn child's remains found a few miles away. Furthermore, when police searched Scott's car, they found that he had dyed his hair and beard and had several changes of clothes and camping gear in the trunk. They also discovered that he had multiple identification documents in his possession, including his brother's ID and a map of the Mexican border. These items led investigators to believe that Scott may have been planning to flee the country. The prosecution's case against Scott was largely circumstantial, but it included several pieces of damning evidence. One of the most significant was a strand of hair that was found on a pair of pliers in Scott's boat. DNA testing confirmed that the hair was Laci's. Additionally, several witnesses testified that they saw Scott's boat in the San Francisco Bay on the day that Laci disappeared, and a cadaver dog alerted to the scent of human remains near the marina where Scott had launched his boat. Perhaps the greatest evidence against Peterson is his own alibi, that he was fishing 3 miles away from where the bodies were found. Scott's behavior during the investigation was also seen as suspicious by many. He appeared calm and composed in public, which was perceived as inappropriate for someone whose wife was missing. He also sold Laci's car and jewelry, which raised questions about his motives and priorities. Despite the efforts of Scott's defense team, the jury was not convinced of his innocence, and in November 2004, he was found guilty of first-degree murder for the death of Laci and second-degree murder for the death of their unborn child. In March 2005, Scott was sentenced to death by lethal injection. He is currently on death row at San Quentin State Prison. The case had a significant impact on California's criminal justice system, leading to the passage of the Laci and Connors Law, which made it a federal crime to harm a fetus during an attack on a pregnant woman. The law was named after Laci and her unborn child, Connor. The case remains one of the most high-profile and controversial criminal trials in recent history. Some believe that Scott is innocent and that there was not enough concrete evidence to convict him, while others are convinced that he's guilty and that justice has been served. Nevertheless, the tragic story of Laci and Scott Peterson will continue to captivate people's attention for years to come. Thank you for your support, and if you can subscribe to our channel, it would mean the world to us.